as the Masajid or the Masjid. وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ فَلَا تَدْعُوا مَعَ اللَّهِ أَحَدًا. One ayat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that the Masajid, the houses of Allah, or these places of worship, they belong to Allah. These places of worship, this Masjid, they belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So do not call anyone else besides Allah. Do not call upon anyone else with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these places, and this world is made up of different places, different makan. You have houses, normal houses, and you have places for recreation, and you have shops, and you have business precincts, and you have all these different areas. The world is divided up into tiny little bits of area. Each area, has a status in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And a place where evil is done and a place where, bad things are done, obviously that place is not a good place in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ahabbul biladi ilallah masajiduha. The most beloved and the best places in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most sacred places. So we need this importance and this realization regarding masajid, regarding the masjid. We need to bring that recognition and that realization into our hearts and into our minds. As Muslims, as people who believe in Allah and believe in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the masjid is an integral part of our life. The masjid is a fundamental of our life. It's not a place that, when I find time, I go to the masjid. It's not a place where, in passing, I don't have anywhere to pray, so I come to the masjid. Rather, it's just like we have, meal times, and just like we have work times and business time and family time, we need to have masjid time. We need to schedule visiting the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on a daily basis. And we see this evident in the life of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam and the life of the Sahaba radiyallahu ta'ala anhum and the Salafus Salihin, the pious predecessors that came after them. It is evident and clear from their lives that the masjid, the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, was an integral part of their lives. It was a social hub. It was a place to meet other people. It's a place to connect yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam Qurtubi rahimahullah, he mentions a hadith in his tafsir, book of tafsir, that when you are in the house of Allah, when you are in the masjid, you are in the jiwar of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jiwar can mean two things. This word can mean two things. Number one, it can mean you are in the company of Allah. You are in the company of Allah. It didn't say go to the masjid and worship. It didn't say go to the masjid, make dua and pray salat and read Quran. Just being inside the masjid. You are in the company of Allah. And the second meaning is you are under the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, sometimes over time, what can happen is because we're so engrossed and we're so busy and we're all the same. We're all insan, we're all the same. None of us are different. We just forget, we forget and it just passes us. As time passes and towards the end of time, as we know, one of the signs of Qiyamah is that time will fly, like we say all the time. And it's happening, you wake up in the morning and evening comes, you don't even know what happened. It's just like a blink of an eye. And 2022 started and now it's finishing, Who would have thought? When the year starts, it's like you think you have the whole year in front of you. And before you know it, December's here. So time is flying. So what happens is we forget. We forget some important fundamentals regarding our deen. We forget some important integral things regarding our connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one of them is the masjid. One of them is the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إنما يعمر مساجد الله من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وأقام الصلاة وآتى الزكاة ولم يخش إلا الله. The people, those people who frequent the masjid, who take care of the masjid, those people who build masjid, all comes under imara. Who are these people? Who are the ones that take time out for the masjid? Whether it be for your own ibadah, whether it be for the care of the masjid, whether it be to build a masjid, whether it be to finance a masjid, whether it be to clean a masjid. Who are these people that take time out for the masjid? Man amana billah, the ones who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's a testimony to my faith. It's a testimony to my faith that I am connected to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we need evidences like this. We need proofs like this to help us on the Day of Judgment. That, Ya Allah, you said that people of true faith will enter Jannah. I am one of truth faith. What is my proof? That I used to frequent the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My proof on the Day of Judgment that I am one of faith, of true faith, is that I used to go to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala frequently. Not once in a while, not once a week. Every single day, my dear brothers. In actual fact, the demand from Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in hadith is that, men in particular, we should be praying all our salat in the masjid. We should be praying our 5 times salat inside the masjid. That's how frequent we should be. That's how much connection we should have with the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam has mentioned so much reward for frequenting the masjid. It comes in one hadith that a person who makes wudu at home and then makes his way to the masjid, every step he takes, one sin is wiped off, one reward is written for him, and one rank is raised for that person in Jannah, for every step. And it's mentioned about the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum, that they used to take small steps to the masjid. They would take small steps to the masjid so that they would get more reward and more sins wiped off and higher ranks in Jannah. And so that's how much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves to see someone making his way to his house. That he starts rewarding that person before he even gets to his house. Before he even gets to his house. No one does that. The guest has to arrive before we start being hospitable. But here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts being hospitable even before the guest arrives to his house. That's how merciful our Rabb is. That's how much He appreciates. Allah is shakur. You'll see this word in the Quran about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is shakur. So some people say it means Allah is grateful. It's not Allah is grateful. Allah has no need to be grateful. It's actually incorrect to say that. Shakur means Allah is appreciative. Allah appreciates. Why does He need to give so much reward for such little actions? It's because Allah appreciates. Allah is Arhamur Rahimeen. Allah loves when we do little things for Him. It comes in another hadith that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends a special mercy. Every day a special mercy descends upon the Ka'batullah, the Ka'batul Musharrafa. And as we know, this is the most sacred place on earth. And the greatest masjid, you can say, is Masjid al-Haram in Makkah al-Mukarramah. And after that, it is the masjid of our beloved Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Madinah al-Munawwarah. And after that is Masjid al-Aqsa. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect it. And then after that, it's all the same. All the other masajid are the same. So special mercy comes down to the Ka'batullah every day. And then that particular mercy, whatever it is, however it is then distributed to every single masjid all over the world. And people who frequent the masjid, they get that mercy of Allah, and then they take it back with them to their homes. And so as Muslims, what we try and do is, we try and get from everywhere. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. If I'm praying my 5 times salah, alhamdulillah, that is excellent. But don't just put all your eggs in one basket. What happens if, you've been doing something wrong, inshallah, but nothing's wrong, but just say something's wrong, or you didn't do something correctly, or there's something wrong with your wudu, and you're relying solely just on your 5 times salah. That's not smart. That's not wise. No one just puts all their money into one investment. And we try and, split it. So if something happens to one, we still have a few others. So like that with our deen also, on the Day of Judgment, we want all these different investments in terms of my salah, in terms of my Quran, in terms of my dhikr, in terms of my good relationship with other people. Likewise, in my relationship with Allah and the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is like that investment in my deen. So if I can't make it 5 times a day, and that's the ideal. So always keep the ideal in front of, we should always keep the ideal in front of us. The ideal is 5 times a day. But, realistically, every person can gauge themselves. Every person can look at themselves and see for themselves, how much can I really do? How much at this point in time can I really do? Can I do Fajr maybe? Can I do Isha maybe? Fajr is before the day sort of starts for most people. Isha is sort of after the day ends for most people. Some people, they do night work. Maybe they can come in the day. But whatever it is, some arrangement of my time so that I can come to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and get all that barakah and the blessing and the khair and the association and connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Habbul biladi ilallah. It is the most beloved place to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right now, you're sitting in the most beloved place to Allah. We have to feel that, and we have to realize that. I cannot be in a better place right now. Whether it be in the city of Gold Coast or Queensland or Australia, whatever it is, I cannot be in a better place. For me to be in a better place, I'd have to go to one of the 3 masjids that we just said. Masjid Aqsa, Masjid Nabawi, Masjid al-Haram in Makkah. Apart from that, there is no other place better than where I am right now. I'm in the company of Allah. And as it comes in another hadith, and there's different variations to this hadith, but there's one particular variation where Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that when you go to the gardens of paradise, when you pass by the gardens of paradise, graze. So Sahaba, graze, probably not the right word, but when we pass by the gardens of paradise, like take from its fruits, like take from its, enjoy yourself, or be there and enjoy yourself. So Sahaba radiallahu anhu asked, Ya Rasulullah, what do you mean by gardens of paradise? So in one hadith, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned the gatherings of dhikr, hilaq al-dhikr. So when you sit down and you talk about Allah and you remember Allah together, this is like a garden of paradise. In another hadith, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned masajid, the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam in a particular hadith has likened the masajid, the houses of Allah, to the gardens of paradise. So it is genuinely the best place we can ever be. So do I not want a connection to the best place in the world every single day? Every single day. Take out some time. Maybe Fajr and Isha, as it comes in one hadith, that people who frequent the masjid in the hours of darkness, they will have perfect light on the Day of Judgment. They will have perfect light on the Day of Judgment. So maybe Fajr and Isha is best for me. Take out an extra, 15 minutes in the morning to get ready for Fajr, make it to Fajr. Maybe from the masjid go to work. Allahu Alam. Everyone can sort it out for themselves. No one needs to sort it out for anybody. We all know our schedule. We all know how much I can push myself, how much I can, further myself in this regard. رِجَالٌ لَا تُلْهِيهِمْ تِجَارَةٌ وَلَا بَيْعٌ عَنْ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَإِقَامِ الصَّلَاةِ وَإِيتَاءِ الزَّكَاةِ. Rijal. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that, the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, they were men, la tulhihim. Nothing used to distract them. Nothing used to distract them from salah and zakat and what they needed to do for the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So us also, let's take this particular aspect. This particular aspect, masjid should not be that a salat comes and goes and no one is there. This just should not happen. It cannot happen, my dear brothers. That Allah has given us this ni'mah. Allah has given us this blessing to be able to connect ourselves to Him through this medium of the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We all know the situation around the world. How many countries they're raising masjids to the ground? And the people are crying. They want the masjid. Masjids are hundreds and thousands of years old, have been raised to the ground. People want to go to the masjid, but the masjids are locked. For whatever reason, they can't go. They can't even go for Juma'ah. So Allah has given us this bounty. So let's be thankful to Allah for this bounty and show Him appreciation for this bounty. By saying it, or by saying that, yes, I'm very appreciative of the masjid. I'm very happy about the masjid. And I'm very grateful, alhamdulillah, Allah has given a masjid, but I have no connection to the masjid. That's not true gratitude. That's not true gratefulness. If you gave your friend or someone a bit younger than you, like your nephew or somebody, your younger brother or friend, you went out of your way and you bought him a nice shirt and you gave him the shirt and you're feeling good because it's a nice shirt. He looks at it and goes, Jazakallah khair, thank you very much. It's a lovely shirt. I love it very much. And then, okay, he seems like he's grateful. And then you come back another time and his to visit him and he's wiping the floor with that shirt. How are you going to feel? You're not going to feel good, because no matter how much he says, no, Jazakallah for the shirt. I'm very grateful for the shirt. But he's wiping the floor with it. You're not going to feel good about it. It doesn't matter what he says. The fact that he's not wearing it and not taking care of it, it means he's not grateful for that shirt. He's not showing appreciation for that shirt. So in the same way, Allah has given us this masjid to show up our appreciation is to attend the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be present in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us understanding, may He give us tawfiq, may He give us ability, may He give us the strength and the power to rearrange our lifestyle so that masjid can be an integral part of it, inshallah. Just one small thing before the announcements. There's an ijtima', a gathering in Brisbane on the 26th, 27th and 28th of December. It starts on Monday, 26th of December at Asr and finishes after Maghrib on the 28th of December. That's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So all brothers are requested to participate. It will be in Holland Park Masjid in Brisbane. So please come and bring other people. And it's a beautiful atmosphere, beautiful gathering. Everyone's, sit and listen to the talks of Deen. All of you are humbly requested to participate and pass the message on to other brothers as well to join. Jazakumullah khair.